Straight ahead on News 4 Brockport. Find out what Brockport students are doing to help with wildlife conservation.
Also, we'll tell you how Brockport community members honored the victims of the Pittsburgh shooting.
Finally, find out what author came to Bill Gray's last week for a book signing. All this and more. News 4 Brockport starts right now. Hello and welcome to News 4 Brockport. I'm Kayla Green.
And I'm Lexie Cutmore.
The World Wildlife Fund held a tabling event this past week to raise funds and awareness for their organization. Students were free to make donations, ask questions, or simply help themselves to some snacks. The World Wildlife Fund is a nonprofit organization that works around the globe to promote conservation and animal preservation. To donate to the foundation, go to worldwildlife.org.
The police are an important part of any college campus, and Brockport students are making an effort to get to know their officers. The Town Home Community Center held Cake Pops with Cops last week. This was a chance for students to talk to university police in a casual setting and enjoy some homemade cake pops. Organizations like BSG have held similar events in the past to connect students with UP, such as Coffee with a Cop.
It was a special day at the Bill Gray's restaurant in Brockport as author and Brockport class of 1968 graduate Donald Staffo visited to sign his book, In the Zone. The book about Syracuse head basketball coach Jim Boeheim tells the story of Boeheim's time as a player in the 1960s to his time becoming the head coach of Syracuse basketball. Staffo is a Hall of Heritage graduate of the college and wanted to come back to Brockport to offer copies of his book signed. The Little Falls, New York native says that the amount of Syracuse fans in the area, the love and hate stories of Jim Boeheim, and all the facts in the book made him want to come back.
And I thought that I could write this, being a Syracuse fan, I thought I could write this book in a way that would be a fun read for Syracuse fans. It's not a straight narrative or anything like that. It's not a biography. It's got, goes chronologically through his career.
If you weren't able to attend the book signing, no worries. You can still order a personalized copy of Staffo's book. To order a signed personal copy, email Donald at the link below.
So Kayla, I think it's really great that a Brockport alumni can come back here and get this kind of recognition.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I think it's good for current students too to see an alumni come back so successful and kind of makes them feel like they can do something great when they leave here too. So it was good they got to read his book, meet him, all that. I think it was a good event.
Yeah, definitely.
Kyle Izard's here with us now, so it was a pretty rough weekend for Brockport football, huh?
Yeah, their season came to an end as they were upset by RPI. It was unexpected. It was very disappointing.
All right, why don't you tell us more about that and what else is going on in sports?
Thanks, Kayla. The third nationally ranked Brockport football team hosted RPI in the second round of the NCAA playoffs on Saturday. We pick it up in the second quarter with Brockport down by 7. RPI was driving before their quarterback's pass was intercepted by ARITA, his 8th interception on the season to give Brockport the ball back. That would set up a 9-yard touchdown pass from Joe Germanario to Joseph Ortiz, but the extra point was fumbled. After the Golden Eagles' defense forced a 3-and-out, this time a 15-yard completion from Germanario to Ortiz again to put Brockport ahead 13-7 at half. In the fourth quarter, Brockport down by 1, RPI's Nick Selleck caps off a 7-minute drive with a 1-yard touchdown run to extend their lead 21-13. Brockport had one last chance as they were 4th and 7. Germanario rolled out but couldn't find an open receiver as Brockport's quest for a national championship comes to an end in the Sweet 16 with a final score of 21-13. Despite a strong defensive performance, head coach J.C. MANGONE was frustrated with how his offense executed.
I know we executed horribly. 5 turnovers, a block punt. I don't know how many drop passes we had, but probably more than we wanted to count. We just didn't play well.
It's tough to swallow, but I'm so proud for this program and just to see where it's going to go. I mean, the sky's the limit, and we made the Final Four last year, and I know with coach and all our staff, leading the way. I know they're gonna finish the job. They're gonna win the whole thing with us.
It was championship weekend at the Carrier Dome for high school football, as BATAVIA from Section 5 took on Glens Falls from Section 2. First quarter, Blue Devils get on the board first. Quarterback Ethan Biscaro throws it to Ray Leach and he scores. The extra point was no good, BATAVIA up 6-0. Leach throws the ball, which gets tipped somehow, finding its way to Tayo Iberi Bethel for the touchdown. BATAVIA converts the 2-point conversion and now leads 14-0. But the second half was all Glens Falls. Quarterback Joseph Girard III, who was already committed to play basketball for Syracuse, runs around the BATAVIA defense for a touchdown, now making the score 14-7 BATAVIA. Later on, Girard III throws a deep ball to Noah Balcom for the touchdown, as Glen Falls wins the New York High School Class B title 55-32.
Our toughness. We come out here every night and play for each other and just never let down. And tonight, just what happened.
They're a great group of guys. It doesn't change anything, anything about them. We're a family out there. I'm proud of them. Brought a community together. First team to ever play in this game from Batavia. So, I'd take anyone home as a son.
In the Class AA Championship, Aquinas from Section 5 and New Rochelle from Section 1 battled it out in the Dome on Saturday. First quarter, the Little Irish get on the board first. CARON Robinson takes the handoff from Tyler Slukowski for a touchdown. Aquinas with the early 7-0 lead. In the second quarter, Robinson, who is playing with a broken arm, runs for an 89-yard touchdown. His arm doesn't seem to bother him as he is one of the toughest players to tackle. Aquinas now up 14-0. New Rochelle gets on the board with a Jordan Forrest run for a 1-yard touchdown. But Aquinas was too much as the Little Irish win the New York State High School Class AA Championship, taking down New Rochelle 21-14.
Oh, it feels great. Just leaving my legacy, and Aquinas, it feels great.
You know what? It's the program. I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's no one person that's bigger than this program. It's, all the head coaches before me, all the players. It's one big group that works hard to get the job done, and it's about the program, and that's how we get successful.
The Bills are now 4-7 after they defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars this past Sunday in Buffalo. Rookie quarterback Josh Allen returned to the Bills starting lineup after an elbow injury forced him to miss the last 4 games. Allen went 8 of 19 for 160 yards and 1 touchdown, while also rushing for 99 yards and the go-ahead touchdown and a 14-yard rush in the fourth quarter. Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette ran for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, but was ejected in the second half after a fight broke out in the field. Shaq Lawson for the Bills was also ejected. Buffalo takes on the Miami Dolphins next Sunday in Miami. This will be the first of 2 games against the Dolphins within the next 5 weeks. In other sports news, college football's regular season came to a close. There was a shake-up in the college football playoff bracket as number 10 Ohio State Buckeyes took down the number 4 Michigan Wolverines in an impressive 62-39 destruction of the number 1 defense in college football. Number 1 Alabama took care of business, defeating Auburn 52-21 to retain the number 1 ranking. Number 2 Clemson took down South Carolina 56-35 to keep their spot in the rankings as well. And Notre Dame came back to defeat USC 24-17 to finish their undefeated season heading into the playoffs. Up next is Conference Championship weekend, where teams will look to secure their spots in the college football playoffs.
So Kyle, that Bills game was really close.
Yeah, they pulled it out. They were lucky that Leonard Fournette got ejected because he was running all over them. But as soon as he was ejected, the Jacksonville couldn't get their offense going.
I'm glad Josh Allen's back, personally, because Nathan Peterman wasn't doing anything good for us.
Yeah,
so.
the Bills definitely were struggling after he went down.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully we can keep winning more games. They're turning it around, so I'm glad to see it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Black Friday was this past weekend, and as expected, people were out shopping for the holiday season. Good deals aside, this event may be putting shoppers in danger. Several incidents occurred over the weekend. Shoppers know there will be good sales and sizable crowds, and take some extreme measures to be the first in line. Due to this common mindset, 2 people were killed and 6 people were injured this Black Friday. Even though Black Friday is a time-honored tradition that many people look forward to, the dangers may cause shoppers to be more cautious next year.
With the change of the seasons comes a need for a change in driving habits. University police warn students to use extra caution when driving in dangerous weather conditions. Simple tricks like driving slower and braking early could save you from an unwanted accident in the snow. It's recommended that you pack extra layers and always plan ahead before leaving. So, Lexie, the roads are already getting bad out there. I know it's only going to get worse come December. Have you seen anything bad out there yet?
Yeah, when I was coming home up I-90, somebody got into an accident, so people really need to be careful out there.
Absolutely. I just always say drive slower. I mean, it's better safe than sorry, so.
As the semester comes to a close, many students are feeling the added stress of approaching deadlines and final exams. For those left feeling in a pickle, the Brockport Community Development hosted a pickle day. Students were able to stop by and have a pickle while reading through tips and tricks to better manage their time and stress as the semester comes to a close.
The Brockport community is continuing to honor victims of violence all over the country. On November 8th, the Office of Diversity held an interfaith service for peace and unity for the victims of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. I attended the service and talked to some of the organizers about the importance of interfaith on college campuses. Students, faculty, and staff alike joined together to sing, reflect, and honor the victims of the Tree of Life Synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Office of Diversity hosted the Interfaith Service for Peace and Unity, not only for these victims, but to promote inclusion of all kinds on Brockport's campus. Brockport senior Brianna Cologne says events like the synagogue shooting go far beyond religion.
Obviously, if you feel you have that much anger or hatred and separation against other people that you feel the need to go and hurt other people, that's a problem. And when something like that happens, it doesn't matter whether or not you look like that person, whether or not you knew that person. It's something that touches you in your heart, and it's something that you have to respond to as a human being, regardless of anything else.
The fact that we're all human is what interfaith is all about. Reverend DARLA BAIR is a non-denominational pastor and has been helping Chief Diversity Officer Dr. Cephas Archie to bring interfaith activities onto Brockport's campus. BAIR says she sees a broad category of humanity and believes people of all religions fall under that.
Phrase that at the end of the day, we're all believing the same thing. We all want a peaceful and just world, and we all want to get along.
The service on campus was a perfect place for people of all religions, or none at all, to be open. Cologne practices Islam, but that doesn't affect the way she feels about other people.
We are here to be thankful to be alive and to respect other people. And regardless of what your personal beliefs were, what your personal background was, that was something everyone felt.
BAIR says the key to coming together in these hard times is to recognize what we're afraid of and be willing to talk about it.
We as human beings try to hurt that which we fear.
If we open up the conversation, we may all be better off in the future. Kayla Green, News 4 Brockport.
Devastation has ripped through Paradise, California over the last 3 weeks. What started as a small campfire quickly spread to an uncontrollable wildfire that has been recorded as the deadliest fire in the state's history. The fire burned over 150,000 acres of land and destroyed nearly 14,000 homes. On Sunday night, officials confirmed that the fires were 100% contained. First responders have begun their search for the missing victims of the fire. Now, residents of Paradise look to the future in hopes to start rebuilding.
So, Lexie, those fires out in California have just been awful. Do you know anyone who was affected by them at all?
Yeah, my cousin Jason is a firefighter out in California, and I know he's been out for the past 3 weeks just doing what he can to help the people in Paradise.
Yeah, that's amazing. I give them so much credit. It's such a hard and scary job to have, but they're helping so many people. So,
definitely.
So much credit.
Well, that's all the time we have. But before we go, this is Kayla's last newscast.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who has watched me on Talon over the past 4 years. I've been doing this since my freshman year, so it's pretty bittersweet. But it's made me the person I am today, and I'm very excited to continue my journey at Channel 8. So catch me on your Rochester TVs starting in January. But thank you to everyone who has helped me along the way. And for the last time, that's all we have for News 4 Brockport. I'm Kayla Green.
And I'm Lexie Cutmore.